Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Red and Green, the podcast. Apologies for not dropping an episode last week, but it was a very interesting week. And so interesting was probably speaking lightly. But so I'm going to turn it over to Kristie to start off to tell us, what happened last week. And then we're going to go right into what we're going to talk about today, but we're glad to be back. Kristie, take it away.
Last week, it was a rough week. I won't go into huge details. You can check our Instagram. I did post about it. I do want to say thank you everybody who has had my father in your prayers. He went in for a standard biopsy on July 6th. Had some severe complications from the biopsy. They ended up keeping him. It turned into a GI bleed. And on Tuesday they called me. The bleed started on Tuesday. And then on Tuesday they called me and said, come on, because we don't know if he's going to make it or not. And Jeff orchestrated everything and somehow got us there. I don't even know exactly what happened, but you got me to Tennessee that day. Daddy they did find the bleed. They clipped the bleed, but in that time frame, as they were checking his blood levels and stuff, because he lost so much blood, they then discovered some abnormalities.
That's it.
There you go. And his hemoglobin was low, and they do believe there's a good chance that he could have leukemia. So they did a bone marrow biopsy. We're waiting to hear back from that. So if you could, and he does have prostate cancer. So he could be battling two separate types of cancers. We're just waiting to see. Got back yesterday, but if you could please just keep praying for my daddy. He needs it, and pray for me. And listen, not even so much for me. Please pray for my mama. This is her husband of 55 years.
Yep, 55.
And she is madly in love with that man and scared to death. So I'm not going to cry on the podcast.
That awkward silence that usually happens right now. So if you believe in prayer or positive thoughts, just send them, if you would, send them Nancy's way, David's way, and just the family, Kristie and the family, that, they're doing the best they can. Anyone who's been in that situation, you understand this, and so you understand what's needed. But thank you so much for your wonderful support. So today, just call me DJ Jeff. I'm just taking it over. I'm going to say something that probably going to make her laugh. That's what I'm trying to do now. Because when she gets this way, I'm like, awkward turtle. So I say so she can laugh. So she get her laughing. But also allow yourself to, go through what you need to go through. So that being said, today's episode, which was supposed to drop last week, is basically to start our season. We talked about I was being interviewed, so there's some certain questions they asked. Kristie asked me, and so now
all my multiple personalities.
This is true. Part 2 is now I'm going to interview Kristie and ask her certain questions, so so you can get to know Kristie. And so I got some good questions here. And so my first one is, hey Kristie, I'm just joking.
What up?
Okay, what do people misunderstand about you the most?
Man.
Dun, dun, dun.
The most?
What?
I'm going to give you a list because I can't pick one.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not mean.
Okay.
People think I'm mean. I'm not mean.
Okay.
I'm really nice.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So now that that's settled.
Why you saw the anger?
Because it makes you mad. Because people think that I'm mean. Just because I'm direct does not mean I'm mean.
Correct.
Direct is not. Am I not nice? I'm nice.
You're very nice.
I know.
Yes.
I help people. I've helped thine enemies. I helped someone that I hate who had a flat tire.
Hate is a strong word.
I meant it.
But that's how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I didn't like them at all.
No, I'm just being silly.
No, I didn't like them at all.
Right,
and still, I know how to change a tire. I've been there. Just because I don't like you, I think you make bad life choices, and you have called me everything but a woman, does not mean you're still a parent. You still have children. I'm going to help you in that situation. I'm a nice person. Thank you. Toot toot.
So we don't breathe.
That's something that people misunderstand about me.
Right.
Another thing that they misunderstand about me is that I'm confident. I'm not. Sometimes I am.
Right.
But not all the time. People think that like, oh, you're just so strong and you're so confident. No, I do have insecurities.
Yeah, we all do. Yeah. Okay, the next one is...
Next? You don't want to talk about that anymore.
Angela, let's keep it going. What's the next one I had? If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Find a job doing absolutely what you love. It doesn't matter if you go to college or not. It doesn't matter if it's work. If you want to be a lawyer, go to law school. If you want to be a doctor, go to medical school. If you want to be a hairdresser, go to cosmetology school. If you want to be an electrician, go to electrician school. Do something that you're passionate about. And don't box yourself into a box at such a young age and think that like by 22 you need to be here, and 23 you need to be there, and 24 you need to be there. I'm 44. And I still find new things that I like to do every day.
Right.
And I feel like I literally have just got like my head together like in the past 5 years. Like my grown up mind. Like it's like, okay, this is an adult.
Right.
I mean, I remember when like I had kids. I mean, I still have them. It sounded like I got rid of them back when I had children. But no, when I had kids, I used to think like, did my parents feel this way? They seem to have it so much more together. Like, how is it that like I'm entrusted with the well-being of 3 other people? That might not be wise.
Right.
Because I don't know what I'm doing. But I guess I did because they're good and still here.
What is... hold on. I'm sorry. What is a funny story your family tells about you that you'd like to share?
Okay, let me think. I guess it depends on which family member that you asked.
Okay.
Which story they would like to tell. But one of the ones that, like a funny story,
yes.
I guess. Okay.
Yes.
When I was 4 years old, this is in my yearbook too, actually, my senior year. When I was 4 years old, no, I wasn't 4. Oh, yes, I was 4. That's the detail. Anyway, we had a big old church. Went to Sunnyside Baptist Church, Kingsport, Tennessee. It's still a big church. It's still there. And we had a children's pageant. You know, like where the kids did a thing at Christmas. And I had to go up and I had to say a line. And my line was, I still remember it. Very weird memory I have. I'm so glad you care about me. It's so important that I'm just 3. And I wasn't 3, I was 4. So one, I was bitter about that. Like I didn't want to say I was 3. And they're like, it's just the part. It's just the part. It's just the part. Okay. Well, mommy and daddy are sitting in the audience and the church is packed out. You know, every grandma has came from Mendota to see their babies like up on the stage. So the church was a big church that was packed anyway. Doubly packed because the extended people have showed up. And mommy sees me. And she's like, David, Kristie's up there crying. And daddy's like, oh, I'll go get her. She's probably scared and don't want to say her part. Kristie don't get scared in front of people talking. That's not the issue.
Right.
I get to the microphone. Kristie needs more fear in her life, though. Okay?
Right.
I get to the microphone crying at the age of 4. And I went, I got a pee-pee. I had to pee. Some things never change. Right. Still, in opportune moments, Kristie's like, hey, you know what? Let's go to the bathroom. But Matthew Hale, shout out Matthew Hale.
What's up,
he was supposed to say the part behind me. And they said, don't say your part until Kristie says hers. Do not say your part. So they're like, go say your part. And he's like, no, Kristie hasn't said hers yet. So the children's pageant of 1981 at Sunnyside Baptist Church came to a complete halt for Kristie's bathroom break. I came back. I went to the microphone, freshly peed, and said, I'm so glad you care about me. It's so important that I'm just 3. And the show went on.
Wow.
Thank you very much.
Well, that is actually funny. That is funny. Hey, I got another question for you. Okay. What's the best compliment you've ever gotten?
I don't know. they're along the same lines. A few different, my girlfriends have said it, but when they say that, like, you're so genuine and you're always there and you take care of us and we're grateful for you and just being appreciated when people see that I try.
Yeah.
I feel like, because when I love you, I love you. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And like, if you're hurting, I'm hurting. I'll hurt with you. And if you're happy, I'm happy with you. And if you're, I mean, we've all had those friends that when something good happens to you, they ain't real glad about it.
Of course.
So I never want to be that person or misconstrued as that person. I want to celebrate people. But then we've also had it where we've went through loss and we feel like we're alone in our loss.
Yeah.
And I never want to be that person. So it's a mental effort. Like I don't know that comes naturally, which is probably why it happens. But I make a mental effort to try to be that person that'll, show up at your birthday party and shake it or sit in a hospital room and hold your hand.
Right. It's one thing that I've heard people say about you, your family, your friends, and and personally I've experienced it with you. And it's incredible. People say that you are a true definition of a ride or die. And it's true. It's true. It's a true definition. You have this ability to see people for who they are. And you have this, it's interesting, you have this ability to see right or wrong and then assess for yourself. And then you move forward. It's like, it's not, people can't just sway you. This is the information. This is what it is. Oh, wait a minute. And I've seen you do it with everyone that you hear about. I mean, it's just like, wow, So that's a great one. True definition of ride or die. Like that's a level of maturity. That's a level of emotional maturity, but just intellectual maturity also. Knowing who you are, your self-worth.
Yeah, it's important.
It's incredible.
It's important to me. I think a lot of people will get on the bandwagon, whatever the bandwagon being, like, rather than make a decision for themselves. Just because somebody comes across sweet don't mean they are. Just because somebody comes across genuine don't mean they are. Just, Mama used to say, pretty is as pretty does. Just because and I gotta say, toot toot, I ain't been wrong. Yet. Because, and it sounds bad though, because I'm not a person, I'm nice to everybody. And I will be your friend until you give me a reason not to, right? And then I still will be, but it's like one of those things. People say this, well, I just trusted him. Why? I don't trust nobody. Until you give me a reason to trust you, I trust no one. No one. I mean, I trust people, obviously, because people have given me reasons to trust them. Right. But it's like, oh, they're so sweet. Until no. No. I mean, Hitler had a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
People can love anybody. Not to, Tom Cruise is a good looking dude with a great personality. Bro, he's weird. I like Tom Cruise. No, not to insult the Tom Cruise fans, but guys, he's weird. He jumped on a couch. He's weird. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna trust him.
Right.
Could be friendly and talk to him.
Right.
That don't mean anyway. Okay, that's almost a TED talk. We're going down a rabbit trail. I'm coming back.
Good. Now I'm going to go to a whimsical, kind of off the wall questions.
Okay. You said whimsical.
Yeah.
That's your standard vocabulary.
I mean, it's me.
Whimsical.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Tampa. I'm just joking. I always say that.
Somewhere hot. Hotter than here.
I'm going to say you here. What, hell?
No. Jeffrey!
It's hot.
That's ugly. Don't say that.
Yes, ma'am. Don't handle that talk.
Mommy, if you're listening, he didn't mean it.
I said hellacious.
That's just as bad. No, I would like Costa Rica, or not really Cuba.
Okay.
But I would like Key West, but I don't like the party vibe. So like if we could make like Charleston, South Carolina, Rainbow Row, but put it in Key West with no hurricanes, that's where I would like to be.
And low humidity.
Humidity don't bother me.
Okay. If you could have coffee with any historical figure, who would you choose?
Okay.
Tyrone? I'm joking.
I mean, shut up.
Don't say that. That's like saying hell. Go ahead.
No, it ain't.
No, it ain't. Go ahead.
And you said Tyrone for a week.
Okay. I mean, I'm still going to say Tyrone. But go ahead.
Pick a new name. I'm over that one.
Okay, Tim.
Tyrone in Tampa. A coffee with a historical figure.
Yeah.
Alive or dead? I guess, is historical dead? I guess it would be dead.
Yeah. Well, not necessarily.
There's a bunch of dead people I'd like to have coffee with.
Okay.
So I would like to have coffee with Gandhi, Mother Teresa. But Gandhi wouldn't drink coffee. So we'd have a problem. We'd have to have like kombucha. You know. I would like to have coffee with Hamilton because I like the show. And I just wonder how real it is. And I would like to talk to him about it. I would like to go to see Hamilton with Alexander Hamilton. Can I just change your question?
You just did.
I would like to go see Hamilton with Alexander Hamilton.
Excuse me. Are you Aaron Burr, sir?
That depends. Who's asking?
What's the next word?
Oh, sure, sir. Okay. But I would also... I'm not done. I have more people I would like to have coffee with. Because I would like to say God and Jesus, but you're not going to have coffee with him. And, that's... Everybody would like to talk to God. At Starbucks.
Can I espresso, please?
In real... Like this. Touchy. You know?
Right.
So I don't feel like that's... I mean, that would be that's the obvious answer. But... Steve Jobs.
Okay.
Because I feel like he handled his cancer with such grace. And dignity and what that was like for him.
Right.
Betty White.
Yeah.
How she stayed so happy.
Yeah.
For years and years and years. You know? Okay. I'll stop now.
If you had to write a book tomorrow, what would you write about?
Me. I already have. It's written. Just haven't published it.
Okay. What's the title of it?
Brazen.
Brazen.
Yeah.
Explain.
It's about me.
What about you?
It's about... You're like,
I mean, what's the title? Okay. I mean, I know we call it Brazen.
It is about everything that happened from the time right before Sean died up until about 6 years after.
Gotcha.
And epiphanies I had and the way that I changed and yeah.
What was your favorite subject in school?
I hated school.
What was your favorite subject in school?
Anything but math. No, did I have a favorite subject? Science, probably, I guess. Science, let me rephrase that. Science if you were doing labs.
Okay.
I like science experiments. I did not like botany. Learning about photosynthesis. In a textbook. That was not fun. But I did like in college, I liked psychology, Greek history. Yeah.
Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I don't know.
Okay.
What do you think?
I don't know.
I think I'm an extrovert. Extrovert means that you're loud and proud, right?
It could be. Yes.
I think I'm an extrovert.
Okay.
I think I'm saying that wrong, though. Extrovert?
Extrovert.
What was I saying? Extrovert.
I don't know.
Let's pronounce every syllable.
Okay. If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
I mean, listen. How many things can I have in my meal?
Well,
does it have to make sense?
No.
Okay. Little Caesar $5 pizza with mashed potatoes, rolls from Texas Roadhouse, wasabi, nuts with sushi, and Coke Zero. It wouldn't make me fat, right?
I don't know.
If that's the rules.
Oh my goodness sake. Okay, moving on. Expertise, something different. What's one thing your business successful venture did that you didn't expect? What did you do? You know, in a business that maybe you created, that you've done, that you did not expect it to be successful.
I'm about to be cocky. I thought everything would be successful. No,
really? Oh.
No, really, that's kind of my problem.
Why you gotta whisper it?
Listen, that's one of those things that, like, when you talk about something and you're alone in your house and you whisper because it's like a secret. I just did that. No, not really. Like, I didn't expect this. I did expect this. Let me rephrase this. And I don't mean this in a self-deprecating way. So I don't need the, oh, we love you. I don't mean it like that. When I started this with you.
The podcast. Okay.
Yes. Yes. As I touched the table. Not the table.
Yeah. Let's start this table.
The podcast. I thought that it could very well be successful, but it would be successful because of Dr. Redding. Like, not you. That was the whole reason I didn't want it to be Dr. Redding.
Okay.
I wanted it to be Jeff. And because I love Jeff. I love Jeff conversations. I love listening to Jeff talk about, I don't really mean this, football. But you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and I say that I don't like to hear you talk about football because I don't like the Cowboys. Go Ravens. But, but like, I wanted people, for this to work, you would have to be Jeff.
Correct.
Because Kristie and Dr. Redding, well, that's not going to jam. Like, if it was in Dr. Redding mode. So I thought it could be successful because people would want to hear Dr. Redding.
Right.
But I didn't realize how many people would love Kristie.
You know, you say that, it's funny. I thought it would be successful not because of me, because of you. And that's true. You know, it's like, okay, so you're multifaceted. There's in other words, there's many parts to you. So it's like you get that southern swing, you know, and then you can be, okay, you know, there's many parts to you. So I thought, and you're very good at this stuff. You're natural at this. You know, it's like you had to talk me into this. And, you know, I don't do podcasts, you know. So in terms of success, you had the passion about this. You know, you had the passion about it. You had the faith in it. You had all that stuff. And we're so polar opposite of each other. Is that it's one of those things in which you say, okay, is that going to work? You know what I'm saying? And so they may get this part of me, but then they get the total opposite of you. So I totally thought that you would be and are the more interesting of the two, the more, you know what I'm saying, of that. And I think that makes it work.
Well, I think that, but you went from being so polished. You were just really, really polished to where now people can see your funny side and see that you are a jokester and that you can laugh and that not everything is like choral repertoire and proper consonants.
Proper consonants. Well, the thing that I think the podcast has allowed me to do is give myself permission to be who I am without oversharing or codependency, being codependent. You know, let my country come out sometimes, but also I can, but speak articulate when need to be, so on and so forth. So it's like, yeah, I'm a real person, because growing up, and even into my latter years of my life, it was always worried about the narrative. I've always tried to, how can I say this? Always tried to let people see who I am, or try to change a narrative or an opinion about me that's completely wrong. And then you would live most of your life trying to prove who you are instead of be who you are. And so that being said, the podcast sort of has allowed that, to where we use the platform for healthy reasons. But then you also get a glimpse inside of who I am, and not worried about the narrative about me if you don't understand me or choose not to.
Right.
And those are things that the podcast has helped me, and just learn who I am, and so that's what that has done. So, but then I give you the credit for that, because that's something I would have never done, never thought about doing.
Do you think it's changed the way that people who listen to it think of you?
I have no idea. I never thought of it.
I think it does.
I don't know. I just know.
I think they see you, this is going to be terrible English, but more realer.
Okay. I don't know. It's the one thing that I've learned. Yeah, I guess even before the podcast, when you stand before people and you speak, you give it away, but you have no idea how it will land, and how you don't have an idea how people will, accept it. I'm just trying to do the best I can, and share to help others, because it also helps me, to grow. I don't need to know your life story, your business. It's like, let me tell you what I've gone through, or have gone through, or am going through, or am trying to figure out myself. But again, making sure that we use the tool in a healthy way.
Right.
Oversharing is not healthy. Codependency is not healthy. There are things that are not. So I'm very aware of that platform, and so, and then try to, someone said a long time ago, and it's so true, how I, as a teacher, regardless of how much success that you have in life, I can't teach the same way I taught 15 years ago. Why? Because the students are different 15 years ago.
Right.
15, it's a different kid. So you got to find a way to reinvent yourself. And how can you still be effective and serve whomever is in your sphere? In your atmosphere. So trying to control the narrative is not a life that I live anymore. You know what I'm saying? It's like I have my group, my tribe, that loves me, who know me, and I'm content with that. And it's like, you want to know who I am? Come and talk to me. Before, it was always, oh no, you misunderstood me. Now, some folks just some people just want to be that way.
Well, I think
it's okay.
Right. I think a lot of people, we've talked about this before on the podcast, but like losing friendships, and it feels like, like a death. Yeah. Sometimes when you lose friendships, and some breakups feel like a death, and some, behaviors from your kids can feel like a death.
Yeah.
But really and truly, if you know what you do, your heart, and that's one of the reasons people have asked me 150 times, because I preach on grace all the time, because I'm not a grudge holder.
Right.
I'm just not. Like, I might not put myself in your circle to protect my mental health, but that don't mean I wish you ill. You know what I mean?
And them.
Right. Well, no, but like, for real, like, there's people hurt people hurt people. People behave in ways that, because I've done it. I know it.
Yeah.
I've hurt people in my life. I know it. I'm not proud of it. It's one of the, so I give grace because I'm able to say today, I did the best I could. And if I can't say that, I'm going to make the necessary apologies to the people that I should apologize to.
Right.
And then I'm done and I put it to bed. Like, that's the way I operate because that's the way I have to operate. And that's one thing that I like to get across through here. People are like, oh, you just seem like nothing bothers you. Everything bothers me.
No, exactly, yeah.
But I choose to remember every mistake I make and that I have to forgive myself for those. Like, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life beating myself up for things I can't change yet.
Right.
So change what you can. Forgive yourself for what you can't. Ask forgiveness if you need to. And then otherwise, move on. If somebody chooses not to forgive me for something that I did, now that's their choice. I've done what I can. I'm not going to sit and worry about how people see me, how people perceive me. You know, if you don't like my hair and you're like, why does she have a mohawk? I mean, I like it. And that's why. But if you want to say...
Never will we go. Many people love it.
I mean, a lot of people love it, but there's people that hate it. There's people who have said they don't like the way I dress. They don't like the way I talk. They think I'm too masculine. They think I'm too loud. Meh. I mean, and you don't have to like me. Not everybody's going to like me.
Right.
There's going to be people that don't like me. There's people out there who have best friends and I don't like them personally. Like, as somebody to hang out with, no harm, no foul. Mine and your personality just don't click.
Right.
So, I'm like, I can say, hey, how you doing? And we ain't going to jam.
Right. And the thing about it is, and what I appreciate about you is that, like, no one's perfect. You know, no one is perfect. And so with that, when you talk about grace and so on and so forth, and oftentimes you must give yourself grace. You know, it's easy to forgive others and never forgive yourself.
I want to do a challenge right now.
Yeah.
Everybody who's listening to this, I want you to think about the thing that you hate that you've done. Because a 9-year-old can be listening to this and they got one. An 80-year-old can be listening to this, they got one. Or 80. And everyone in between. But the worst thing you've ever done in your life, I want you to think about it. And then, in that moment, I want you to think about what was going on. Like, literally think what was going on. How did you feel in your heart? And if somebody was sitting beside you and they could articulate to you how they felt, and it was another person talking to you that way, would your heart break for them? Would you be like, man, you messed up big time. Let's help you heal this part, this part, this part, and this part. If it was your kid who came to you and said that, or your parent, or a complete stranger, you know your heart. If you could see these other people like they're yuck and see it without judgment. I know the things that I did that on paper, like if you just wrote it down as a sentence, people would be like, oh my God, like Kristie, she's so bleh, whatever. If you knew where I was when I did it mentally, what I was trying to do, how I felt, what my backstory was that got you there, what needed to be healed, what needed to be fixed. And I mean, a lot of people will be really sad for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So give yourself, realize you're a person who's had like pain and struggle and suffering, and the things that you've done do not define who you are. They're not who you are. They're things you've done. They're products of, you know, if you step on a bee, your foot's going to swell. Why? Because you got stung by a bee. Things that you've done, you know, maybe you shouldn't have walked barefoot in the yard, but you did. You got stung.
Right.
So there's certain things, yes, you might have played part of it. But when you look at people like with a drug addiction, nobody wakes up. There's not a 10-year-old who says, hey, I hope I'm a heroin addict when I'm 30 that's living in the streets homeless. What got them there?
Right.
What happened? Nobody says, hey, I'm going to blow all of my family's money on gambling and Hooters. That'd be a lot of chicken. I meant strip clubs when I said Hooters, but I went to chicken wings.
Listen, I was thinking about the Parmesan garlic sauce. And
you're like, listen, somebody could blow some money on that.
Is that thing breaded or...
But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's reasons why people do stuff. Mm-hmm. And you can say, you're selfish, you're this, you're that. Maybe. Mm-hmm. Maybe they were. But why were they? So, that's the thing. I know that at the core of my most ugly, like, the most ugly things I'd ever done. I mean, we can even talk about, like, when I can still remember, I thought about stealing when I was like 7 years old. Mm-hmm. Or maybe 10. I don't know. You remember Michael Jordan toggles? You remember what I'm talking about?
No.
They were like these little squeezy things that went on shoelaces.
Nope.
And they had like, I don't need you to remember them. I'm telling you now.
Oh, I thought you, listen.
Now I'm explaining.
Listen, okay. Don't get all
now
feisty.
We're explanation mode. Do you see my fingers up?
No.
This is explanation mode. So.
Y'all about to see me go in on it. Go ahead now.
I mean, it's fine. So you put shoestrings through it.
Right.
And everybody liked to put like 75 of them up the strings of like sweatshirts. And Nancy Horn ain't going to buy me toggles. Or Air Jordans to get the toggles. Because she's going to say, you ain't getting 400. All that. Anyway. And I thought about stealing it. I really did. Like, I think I was at Burlington. Mm-hmm. I really felt like I was at Burlington. My memory could be like completely skewed from this memory. But anyway, that's where I think I was. And I really was thinking about it. Now, I would like to say that it was my moral fortitude that I did not steal it.
Right.
It is not. It is the wrath of mommy and daddy should they find out is the only reason I didn't steal it. Mm-hmm. Intention can often be just as, if you the reason I didn't do it was not because I took a moral high road, right? So why did I want to steal it? Everyone had it, mm-hmm. which meant what? Why did I want to be like everybody else? Well, because at that time I had gotten a little chunky. I hadn't grown. Everybody else had grown. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was 7th grade. I remember now.
I was a chunky 7th grader.
Sixth grade, going in 7th grade. Yeah. I had, like, some of the girls had grown up and had started to develop, and I didn't, and I felt like an outcast, and I wanted to fit in, and I wanted to be cool, and it was insecurity that I was feeling. Mm-hmm. Do you think I cared about a little plastic thing that I thought that was so cool I needed it? No. It was a fit in with the group thing.
Right.
Feeling accepted. Therefore, I didn't feel accepted. And if your kid came to you and was just crying and said, Mommy, Daddy, I don't feel accepted when I'm at school. All the other kids look more developed than me, and I feel like an outcast, and I don't know what to do, and I'm upset. You would sit and talk to them and love them through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Where if they sold a toggle with Michael Jordan on it, they'd be in big trouble, and you might not hear the reason behind it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, and the thing about it, and which is wonderful, and I just want to add to it, is that the thing about it is, and wonderful story, also, when you do something wrong, there are the consequences that come along with it. Because even with grace, there are consequences. Mm-hmm. If I rob a bank, you're still going to jail. You may get grace once,
right.
But you still have to pay the consequences. The other issue of the consequences are the unintended consequences. Mm-hmm. Oftentimes. And oftentimes that is, in just seeing this, is that one, you made this mistake. 1, 2, but then you may go through people coloring it and making lies and the truth of the mistake that you made, but then you also have to deal with the lies that's mm-hmm. attached to it. Guess what? You open yourself up to that.
Correct.
The unintended consequence. So that being said, is that's when you get to a point to where you cannot control the narrative or worry about the narrative. You deal with your consequences, you hurt, you heal, you move forward, and you let go. Mm-hmm. And that's the stuff that I've kind of learned from you and watching you. Mm-hmm. So, it's like, man, you can't defend. You just, someone has a question, they come and talk to you. You can't, because, people are going to think and believe what they want to believe. And you must learn how to move forward.
Right.
And so it's like, your tribe, the people who love you, who people, and then you move forward. And that's one thing I think that the podcast, what you've done, and when you talk about your grace and going back to that question, is like, yeah, the ride or die is that. That's the stuff that you do so well. It's like you are a fierce defender, and you love hard. Mm-hmm. And so that's incredible. But if someone is wrong, you let them know, but you're still wrong. Mm-hmm. And so that's the stuff that I think that people may not see about you or don't know. It's incredible. It's incredible.
First of all,
it's incredible. Yeah. It's like, wow. Oh, bro.
Most people don't have nice things recorded like this. Yay.
Okay.
Anyway, but that was sweet. Thank you. But no, I think it's important that if you're a friend of someone, you're a friend. And that doesn't mean, though, that you're dumb. Like, if I am, put it this way. If I go to Michelle and I say, does this make me look fat? And it does. Mm-hmm. And she says, no, girl, you look so great. That's not being a friend. Mm-mm. You know what she would say to me?
What?
Take that off. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? Like, I've told her like different things I want to do with my hair, and she's like, no, your hair's staying this way. It's going to look stupid. Okay. But it's my hair. No, it's not. I'm not doing it. If you want that done, you'll have to go to someone else. I'm not going to do it because you're going to look dumb. Then you're going to be mad. Then you're going to come back to me, and I'm going to have to fix your mess. I'm going to be like, so you just spend money. Like, yeah. So I am one that will say, hey, you did wrong, but I still love you. Because that's what you do.
Yeah. So, couple things. Last couple questions I have for you. What are 3 other podcasts you'd recommend to my audience, and why? My audience meaning the choral world, the choir geeks. It don't have to be choir related though.
Oh, I thought that's what you were asking.
No.
I just slobbered because you stressed me out. Okay. Hold on. Oh, I can use my phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
What podcast that you like? True crime.
Oh, you said to your world.
Yeah, to my world, but it don't have to be music related.
No, but I was thinking that we was gonna be fancier because your world's a little fancier.
Oh no. My world needs to also hear stuff that's not a part of their world. Because some of the stuff may be a part of their world. Okay, I've got more than 3. Okay, it's only 3.
I can't.
3.
Sorry. 3. First of all, my favorite murder is my favorite.
I know. Let me tell you how I know. We can be driving down the road and she can see a truck. Yep, somebody tied up there with the thing down right there.
So this is funny.
Oh, Lord.
No, first of all, this is funny. We're on the way to Tennessee, and I'm literally distraught, and I'm crying like literally off and on, right? Mm-hmm. And we see a van, and it's a rape van, and you all know what I'm talking about. I don't. It's like, they do. They know. They know. Okay, gotcha. It's like a white Ram, like 3500, but like the inside windows, like the industrial van, have been painted with like latex paint on the inside, and on the back, like where the double doors open, there's a padlock, like chained, like you would see on a gate. And then there's like wood screws with washers and bolts coming out the outside. Like it's tetanus waiting to happen for one if somebody busted up against it. And it's dented where they screwed it in. And I said, I'm like 98% sure there's somebody shackled up on the inside of that van right now. And my 12-year-old says, probably. And then Jeff was like, "What is wrong with you people?"
Weird. Like, ugh.
But my favorite murder, Karen Carol Garuff, Georgia Hardstark. It's funny. They tell stories. It's a comedic turn. We all know no one loves murder. Murder's not funny. It's a way that I cope and other people cope, like in the true crime genre, looking at things that are very scary to like make them more relatable. So, number one, my favorite murder. Watch it. There is some language in that one. So if you're a person who don't like language, don't listen to that one. Okay. Oprah Super Soul.
Oprah?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Her Super Soul podcast. It's updated on Wednesdays. Mm-hmm. I really like it.
Okay.
That's a good, like, hippie one. The Strong Sunflowers. That's my girl, Susanna. She's so great. You will love her. We're going to have her on the podcast.
Okay.
Her and Giselle, and do a little update with her. If you're looking for a religious podcast, Life Point Church. That's my old church. Got Daniel Floyd, LCVA, Life Point Church podcast. Listen to it. Love it. Absolutely amazing. Unlocking Us, Brene Brown. Love that one. Let me see. I'm not going to say that one because it's not. Moms and Murder. They're in Orlando, Central Florida.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the Moms and Murder podcast. They're fantastic. Love them. And let's see. Better Call Daddy. That's another one. I love her. We're going to get her on this podcast. She is hilarious. So she talks about all sorts of different people. And she interviews them. And then she calls her daddy at the end. And they ask questions to the daddy. And I love it. I love it. You need to listen to her. It's called Better Call Daddy. Rena Friedman Watts. She's fantastic. But we're going to have her on the podcast soon too. And you'll get to know her a little better. She's great. Great mindset. Great outlook. You'll love her. Okay, there you go. That was like more than 3. And if y'all want more, email me. I've got like 65. Thank you.
I mean, really. 2 more.
Okay. His phone locked.
I mean, honestly, what's one question you wish I had asked you and how you would have answered?
That's dumb. I don't know.
Okay, then.
No. One question I wish you would have asked me. I really don't know.
That's okay.
Okay. I'll answer it next week. Thank you.
Okay. Finally, where can listeners find you online?
Wow, you just really put your mouth on the microphone. Well, everywhere the podcasts are. Like Apple, Google, Spotify, redandgreen.com. Give me a Goog. Give it a Goog. Look me up.
Okay.
Kristie Greenberg. There's a lot of Kristie Greenbergs, really, though.
It really is.
Kristie.
Doo-dah, doo-dah.
I mean, just the way I spell it.
Yeah.
And Greenberg. GreenBerg.
There you go. Well, there you have it, people. That's Kristie Greenberg of Red and Green, the podcast. We hope that you have enjoyed this session on getting to know Kristie. Don't forget to go to our podcast or anything we have social media and rate us 5 stars because it really helps us. Give us, great ratings or comments or so on and so forth. If you have any questions, please let us know. If you have any questions, please let us know. Any topics that you want us to cover, let us know. This is our exciting second season, and we're so happy that you have joined us and are so supportive. We thank you so very much. So, Kristie Greenberg, send us home.
I just want to thank everybody again for everything that you've done for my daddy. Please keep him in your prayers. Men, make sure that you do have your prostate exams done, PSA checked. Get your colonoscopies. Is that how you say it? Colonoscopy?
Colonoscopy. Yeah.
Get that done. Mm-hmm. And just stay on top of your health. We're only, like Daddy used to always say, I could get hit in the head with space junk tomorrow. I could. It could happen. Mm-hmm. But take care of yourself while you're here and love each other. Like, guys, don't leave mad. Like, make sure you tell the people that you love them. I love you guys. And even if you don't love me, I love you anyway. There ain't nothing you can do about it. Like,
she told y'all off.
There's that. But thank you so much for listening. Follow us on Instagram, Red and Green Colorblind. I'd say go to the website, but if should you go missing, the kit is on there, like on the website. You can go there and find the kit. Should you go missing, make sure you fill that out. People don't take that seriously. But did I tell you I filled one out on you?
No.
I have one.
Okay. Great. All right. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time on Red and Green, the podcast.